Welcome to Beyond the Chutes, is presented by ParaSight Systems. I'm your host, Doug Simcox, and I hope that you're having a great day and staying safe. Today, my co-host, Sam, and I are recording in Brevard, New York, because BTC is on the road. Well, Sam, as we ride for the brand BTC, you're not actually on the road, right?
No, thank you for coming up, Doug, where I didn't have to go to your house. Not a problem either way, but it was nice to come up here and get some different people on the show.
Oh, my goodness. And, you know, I got to tell you, I really thank you for setting up the BTC Studios North here at the Rawhide Ranch. We've had as many as 5 people sitting around the table so far. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in a moment. We got another one coming up, a big group coming in today. All New York Cowboys. I'm looking forward to it, Sam.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that's what it is, the table.
The table.
The table. Come join us at the table.
Absolutely.
Should be very interesting today.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of rodeo cowboys that traveled together, came up together. They're going to be here today, and I'm excited. I think we're just here, Sam, to kind of lightly steer the boat, lightly. I have a sense it's going to go in a lot of cool places, so we're gonna stand by and observe.
Yeah, I think I'll hear some stories I never heard, and it was these competitors were, as I knew them, but it was a little before I was riding that they were traveling together. So
Well, your mother, when we started doing the podcast, and she heard Mike was going to be on and tell his stories, she was excited because she was thinking she was going to hear some of the stories she had never heard before. So, Nancy, I hope that's really what you want.
Yes.
You really want to hear
Do you want to know, Mother?
Might be a don't ask, don't tell kind of a situation here. But I got up here on Monday night, and beautiful place up here. It's always fun to come up here, 400 acres, and this morning wake up, and there's probably 3/4 of an inch of snow on the ground. Everything's covered, that first kind of fresh, for me, first snow of the year. Just really, really pretty. And Tuesday morning we kicked off, Sam. First thing we did is we talked a little bit about starting Rawhide Rodeo, 1987, and that episode's going to be coming out.
Oh, good.
No, I mean, it is going to come out. It'll be coming out probably after the first of the year, but my goodness, and the stuff, and driving down memory lane, we talked about Bronx, we talked about all kinds of things.
Yeah, we've had a busy week.
It was
a lot of fun. Seen a lot of people. It's been good.
Yeah, and then we had Pat Tooley in, and this is, he's such an interesting storyteller, right? He does such a good job telling stories, and he's cowboy.
Yeah. He did the rodeo in Clarkson. He hired me to put that on, and we did it for a number of years, and it was all good.
Good. You know? And it was interesting to kind of see behind the scenes, if you will, the business of rodeo.
I didn't even get a phone call, Doug. The pot just left that unloaded all the feeder calves.
Oh, you got your load of feeder calves.
I guess so. Nobody called me. That's good. I don't have to go do any work. We'll just stay here and talk.
Look at you. You do all your farming from the kitchen table.
I'm going to start. It's
there
pretty
you
nice.
Go. I like it. 50 head of feeder calves just got delivered. But Pat Tooley was a blast to listen to, and so many great stories. And it was fun, as I said, to look behind the scenes and see a little bit of the business of rodeo. You know, those folks that take the financial risk and say, we're going to put on a rodeo, and we hope the people show up for it and we can pay the bills.
And that is such a big undertaking, because today's market, you're paying people, and you're feeding animals, and it's just an expensive undertaking.
Yeah.
You know, not expensive enough. I should always made more money, but you got to understand where the limits are.
You bet. And then another look behind the scenes, and this was unexpected. We sat down, we looked at Pro Fantasy Rodeo. You want to make your bets and everything, and I'm in. We've got a BTC podcast team that we put together. But when we raised our hand and asked for help, we got to talk with one of the owners of Pro Fantasy Rodeo. That's on an episode that we did on the NFR. Gail Jones, what a pleasure to talk with.
Yes, very, very insightful
Yeah.
and helpful in every way. And it was nice to talk to a person instead of a computer.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to talk to her.
Yeah.
Very pleasurable.
Very nice young lady, and super, super helpful. ProFantasyRodeo.com. Get in the game. I think it's 2023 NFR Game, it's called. And then staying behind the scenes on a lot of things, the business of rodeo, Rob Wright.
Rob Wright came in and talked about his picking up and his adventures and being part of the Attica Rodeo. It was enlightening.
Yeah, very enlightening, and what a history. I mean, what a background, and what a horseman. So very interesting. You know, it's funny. We've worked with Rob. We've worked with a lot of people for a lot of years, and got great relationships. But I don't think we ever sat down. I never sat down with Rob and had this kind of a conversation, and just. I don't know, you just see people differently when you learn a little bit more about them.
Yeah, I never sat down and had this kind of a conversation with Rob. We've had many conversations,
You
but
bet.
never one like this.
You bet, and what a pleasure to do. And then staying behind the business, this was one of my favorite conversations yesterday. Dave Wheeler, 1957. He's part of the group that starts the Attica Rodeo, and the history and the memories. And he had so much information. And, of course, his daughter Sandy Brewer is with him as well.
Yes, this was the one I was looking forward to all week long. You know, Dave was reluctant. Dave always puts in his opinion, but stands back and watch it happen.
You bet.
And doesn't want to be out front. And this was a struggle to get him here, but thank you, Sandy.
Absolutely.
For bringing him. And it didn't disappoint.
Absolutely.
Did not disappoint.
Nope.
And
Man.
I'm so looking forward. It's my favorite one we've done. Just, Dave and I go back years, just when I was a little kid, and it was a pleasure to have him in here. And he was always on my side.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
If things would come up and needed something, he wasn't never negative and let's fix this problem, let's solve it. Always on my side.
You bet.
I thank him so much for that.
Bet. And a good businessman. The thing that I took away that surprised me, had no idea. 1957, they start this rodeo, and they have the business sense to incorporate.
Where did that come from?
I have no idea. And you listen to all the professional financial management moves that they made, and how they acquired land, and how they grew the facility. And again, they celebrated their 65th year this year. Amazing. He's still active, and he's still going. And man, he listed more people faster than I could type them in my notes. And just so pleasant and just so wonderful to listen to. And then we had the pleasure of talking with Melanie Routenshaw Domes and her kids, Carlene and Logan were here, and McKenna didn't make it, the youngest. But what's so cool is Melanie grew up in the Attica community. In the Attica Rodeo community, I should say. And I shouldn't say community. She grew up in the Attica Rodeo family.
Family, yes. Yeah, and somebody had to stay home to do the work, so I'm sure the little redhead had to feed the animals.
Absolutely.
And she'll never let him let that go without a few words, I'm sure.
We're going to have to get her on. Maybe we'll just bring her on and do her own show.
She is a spitfire.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Wide open, and will tell you what she wants you to know.
Absolutely.
Great kid.
Fifth grader. Fifth grade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think she could carry on for an hour with us.
Oh, I bet.
I'll bet so. But so what great conversation. Of course, the memories that Melanie has of the rodeo, still involved and all that. And Carlene, barrel racer, breakaway roper, team roper, junior in high school. Logan, freshman this year, calf roping. And these guys are doing daily practices every single day, no matter what. Very impressive. So kind of a look to the future, So from one extreme of Dave Wheeler starting a rodeo 65 years ago to this is the next generation.
Yeah, and that's such a interesting aspect of what we did, and where they're going and practicing is where I took Colton to practice. So I knew a little bit about Timmy's strategy, and I tried to trip him up a few times.
You did.
He did pretty good.
He did pretty darn good, and I love it. And there's focus there, and we asked them what their goals were. They had it. We asked them what their plan were to hit the goal. Yep. They're on their way. So very exciting. We really enjoyed them. And then last night we recorded with Michelle and Louis Backless.
Yes. Wasn't a lot in there that I didn't know about, except for his later years when he got hurt so bad a couple times.
With Fred.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking about Fred that we lost here in July.
In July this year,
But I had some stories that they didn't know. Well, they did know after I said it, but it was very pleasurable and painful in the same.
Yeah. And just they shared. They told the story. They told Fred's story.
They did.
And it was beautiful to hear, quite frankly.
And how proud Louis was of Fred came out over and over and over again.
Yep. And how and Fred's got to be super proud of Louis.
I would imagine.
Yes. And still, carrying on the business. Cross the Line Rodeo Company. So with those episodes, all these episodes we just talked about are going to be coming out. We're going to record a little bit more today up here, BTC North. Mike's coming in. Mike Swearingen's coming in, so we're going to pick up with him. Let's do some current events. Let's stay on BTC on the road. In January, January 11th through the 14th, you and I are going to Gutherie, Oklahoma, to the International Finals Rodeo.
So looking forward to that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just seeing and sitting down and talking with some old friends that I rodeoed with over the years, it should be a very, very nice time.
You bet. And we don't know exactly the format of what we're going to do, but feels like we got to at least do a pre-show every day. Who's coming out. Let's look at the day sheet. We talked to Dan again in one of our episodes and talked with her since. She's going to get us day sheets every day, so we'll have good information. So we'll be recording a podcast about the events. We'll do a wrap-up from the day before, kind of like we do our PBR finals. And then I'm hoping to sit down with some folks and record their stories. Top on my list, I just got to say it, Clint Corey, right?
Yeah, Clint, phenomenal bareback rider. Mm-hmm. Won the world in the IPRA and the PRCA. Just phenomenal. But more than that, a great person.
Yep.
Great person.
Yep. And who's top of your list if you can get them?
I'd love to talk with Clarence LeBlanc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a steer wrestler from back in my day, and Mike Fletcher would be number one, but I don't think he's going to be there.
Okay.
But if Clarence is there, he was a steer wrestler, traveled with Red Dolphin and Dale Urigan and those guys, but black gentleman. Mm-hmm. Extremely a gentleman. And,
okay.
I don't know why. never was close to clearance. Don't know.
Yeah.
But I've seen him around and would always go say hi to him, but always a gentleman in every way.
That is so cool. So we're excited about that. 4 days of rodeo down there, January 11th through the 14th. Gutherie, Oklahoma. We're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the events that are going on at Lazy Arena in that time period. But another stop for BTC on the road. Sam, you and I are headed out tomorrow to Johnstown, Pennsylvania, to the PBR Unleash the Beast performance that's there Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon.
Well, Doug, let's not go to Jonestown for the massacre. Let's go to Johnstown for the PBR
Did I say
bull ride.
Jonestown? My goodness.
and that's a mistake that I made for a long time.
I have to stop. And I've got to
because
really
we don't want to
about
drink the Kool-Aid.
No. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I so apologize.
No, it's a very common mistake. So, but let's. I'm looking forward to that very much. My daughter and grandboys are going to go down, and
excellent.
We should have a wonderful time.
We will have a wonderful time, absolutely. And so a little bit of recap before we get into what we think is going to happen in Johnstown. So Tucson, the first event of the individual. We're into the individual season now. Teams has wrapped up. We know that we did not pick right? A team that we leaned towards. We can say that now. I think it's on record. The Texas Rattlers, Cody Lambert, they win it all.
Congratulations.
I'll
say it, but might not mean it.
So the first individual event was a few weeks ago in Tucson, Arizona. A young man, Caden Bunch, what is he, 18 years old, wins that first bull riding.
Yeah, and what an honor. What an honor to do that. And he won it fair and square and right up, and good for him.
You bet. And then second stop on the PBR tour, the Unleash the Beast, was in St. Louis last weekend. And Casio Diaz, a cowboy that we saw be brought up in July after Cheyenne for the teams, rode for the Kansas City Outlaws. Easy to remember for me. I love his dance. Every time he rides, he gets up on the stage and he dances. Casio Diaz, he wins it there.
That's somebody having fun.
Having fun.
Doing his dance, riding very good, square, right in the middle.
Yep.
Doing an outstanding job. And you seen that towards the end of the team thing. He really came on in the middle and felt comfortable here, you could tell, and having fun.
Placed second in the MVP race behind Jose Vitor Lemmy by like one bull.
Good thing it wasn't another week running.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. No, fun to watch. And he's going to be in Johnstown. We'll be talking about him in just a moment. And then Dalen in St. Louis rides his first two bulls. Talk about those first two bulls.
His first bull ride was really good, square, solid. Had a bull, I'm sure, that was out of left-hand delivery. He thought he'd go to the left. He went to the right, sat right in the middle, didn't get overcommitted to the left. Rode just like he did when he was here. Square, solid, not carried away. The next bull he had was out to the right, just the opposite, went and faked to the right. Dalen stayed square in the middle of him. Then he turned back to the left, and it was a mistake on the bull, and he got beat down a little bit. Dalen rode outstanding. And his third bull that he picked in the short round.
Now, before you go to the third bull, one of my favorite moments, and first off, I have to say...
I'm sorry, you did say first two bulls, and I jumped.
You did.
Right
You're excited.
So,
I know. You're excited. You're on a roll. The first two bulls, I got to say, Dalen looks so strong.
Solid.
Strong.
No mistakes.
Just so much confidence. You could just see it, And health-wise, he's good. He's feeling good. Shoulder, arms, wrists, all that sort of thing.
Well, Dalen's Dalen, and I'll say, how you feeling? Oh, good. His arm could be falling off. Oh, good.
Yeah.
But he looked really good.
Good.
You see him smiling when they interviewed him, and as that bull is foot blow behind him the first 3 jumps, and he ran it right back there like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And I thought he looked happy to be where he's at.
Well, speaking of that, that interview was one of my favorite interviews ever. I actually recorded it on my phone off the TV. After he rode his second bull, he come out, and they're interviewing him, and in the middle of it, you can tell he's distracted. And I think the announcers in the arena had seen him on the screen being interviewed, and I think had mentioned his haircut, if I'm not mistaken.
Somebody did.
Somebody did. And I thought his response, his reaction was absolutely perfect. And it was back to the point, having fun. I'm here because I love doing this. And that came through in that interview.
You know, they asked him about his haircut or whatever, and he said, "Oh, I like it." And she said, "Oh, well, that's all that matters." You know, somebody sent a text to me, and I texted him back. Maybe he lost a bet. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe he lost a bet, and
it's a haircut that stands out.
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. It's his choice. So.
Yeah, that's right. So talk about his third bull, Flying Wired, brand new bull.
I was so excited. Mm-hmm. You know, mm-hmm. I'd seen the bull once before, so didn't, you know. I just think Dalen is waiting so much for the opportunity to do that again.
To do it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
It didn't go his way, but it will next time. I'm 99% sure. That bull fit him to a T. He didn't get a good pick, but he got the one that I think he'd have picked if he had the first pick.
You bet.
And I wouldn't ever imagine him letting him go by again without getting a chance. What an outstanding young bull.
Oh, my goodness. They mark him 45 points. And, you know, if you do the math, Dalen's always 3 points over the bull, rider over bull, that ROB they talk about. So you're looking at riding this bull and probably being 93 points.
And that's so hard to say.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Not that he's not going to be 3 points over the bull.
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't know what the bull's going to do at 4 or 5 seconds.
Absolutely.
You know, that's easy to do the math, and everybody's going to go there.
Yeah.
But that bull just looks like he fits Dalen, you know.
Yeah.
Young, fast.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the next match.
Well, maybe we see it on Sunday. Is that a possibility?
I don't know if the bull's going to be there Sunday. Well, I don't know.
We got to do a little research.
Everything's possible.
Yeah, that's
if he's going to be there.
Maybe they'll fly him in for it.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. So standings after 2 events before we go to Johnstown. Casio Diaz in the lead. Caden Bunch, who won Tucson, is in second place. Sage Kimsey, we got to talk about Sage Kimsey. He's off to the NFR. He will not be at Johnstown. Talk a little bit about Sage. Sitting number 3. He's declared the PBR. He's in.
He looked to me like he was having such a good time.
Yeah. Yep.
Such a good time.
Yep.
He was happy, smiling, you know. And when you're like that at those events, it carries through when you're pulling your rope.
Absolutely.
You're enjoying what you're doing.
Yep.
Rode all his bullets at Tucson. Rode 2 out of the 3 here. The one he didn't ride was, you know, it wasn't the bull's day. He scattered off through there and was very difficult to make the whistle on.
And to back up, the bull he had drafted that he had chosen for the short round, Yellowstone, threw a little bit of a fit in the chute, made it really, really hard to get out on, and he was offered a re-ride, and he took the re-ride because he couldn't get out on the bull.
Yeah. And I wasn't there, and just what you can see on TV, when you draft the one you want, you might not get them perfect.
Yeah.
And you might want to go, because when they give you a re-ride, you got no choice.
Right.
So they did that to Dalen at the NFR. He had Bucking Bull of the Year, and the bull kept screwing around, and they gave him the re-ride. He had no choice. He could not try to get out on that bull. So you drafted what you wanted. Try extra hard to get out of there, and because Sage rides so fantastic.
Yeah.
If he's a little behind, he will catch up.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. Yep.
he's not going to let bulls beat him out of the box too often.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's balled up really bad or something where you don't have a shot, you got to do what you got to do. In his mind, hey, who am I to critique what he did?
Right.
You know, he was having fun, and he will be a voice to be reckoned with at the NFR.
You bet.
You know,
You bet.
he is back to
Yeah.
Sage Kenzie. Not that but
You bet.
he's having fun.
Looks
and
healthy.
When you're having fun,
Yeah.
it carries through with what
bet.
you're doing.
And the NFR was scheduled to open up tonight on Thursday, but as you know, because of the mass shooting at UNLV on the UNLV campus, it's been moved back. We believe to tomorrow night, Friday night, we'll kick off the first performance of the NFR. And Buck and Bull of the Year, that Dalen, you'll have to refresh our memory, Dalen owned, was chosen by the PRCA as the Buck and Bull of the Year. That bull will be at the finals. Correct? Help me with my memory of this bull, the bull name and all that sort of thing.
The bull's name's Bayou Bengal,
Mm-hmm.
and he is voted Buck and Bull of the Year by the top contestants in the bull ride. And I don't know how deep they go, whether it's the top 15 or the top 25 who votes on Buck and Bull of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
But he was Buck and Bull of the Year, which is a huge honor. I mean, from every bull that's been in a PRCA rodeo, they considered him the best. And on the earlier podcast, I said, boy, wouldn't that be something if Sage got on Bayou Bengal, because it would fit him to a T.
You bet.
The bull really, really bucks, and Sage really, really rides. And I would love to see that match, just because I know, had experience with that big, mean bull.
Absolutely. And we talked a little bit about the Pro Fantasy Rodeo 2023 NFR Game. Our team, BTC podcast, Sage Kimsey is the bull rider that we've chosen to be on our team. So go Sage. And then number 4 in the point standing, Jose Vitor Lemmy. And he actually sat out the second round in St. Louis.
Yes, and, I didn't see anything wrong with him. We got off the bully road, but he sure would not got on the other bull if he wasn't hurting somewhere.
You bet.
And
You bet.
he's so smart. He doesn't let himself get too sore or too beat up.
Yep.
And he's so smart with that. And I asked Dale, and he didn't get on a bull up at the Canadian finals or somewhere. He said, I just was sore.
Yeah.
I said, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. You're listening a little bit. Good job.
Absolutely. Well, these decisions, and we've talked a little bit about this in the past, these decisions, when you're at this level, it's business, right? And when you get sore, you got to take care of the business, which is your body. You got to be able to get out there and do it right.
And not many people take care of business any better than Jose.
Yeah, that's right. And then Dalen's currently number 14 after two UTBs. And for the record, there are 24 events on the schedule this year before we go to the finals. So lots of a good weekend in Johnstown. Boom, you're going to move pretty rapidly in these standings right now.
Yeah, because everybody's kind of on started out an equal playing field, and now they're going up. They're not letting them go to the challengers or velocities and get the points and come over and all that. So, right, wrong, or otherwise, I've got my opinion on that, but that's what it is.
Sure,
I'm old school.
Yep.
But yeah, one good week's gonna put you in the top upper echelon and carry you there for a long time.
Yeah.
Until more events and more guys keep winning.
You bet. And then I mentioned 24 events, UTB events before we go to the finals. And new rule, we believe, we got to do some more research, but the rule is you understood from the broadcast.
Yeah, I heard on the broadcast that they were counting only 20 of the 24 events. And I believe what what I am hearing is you are allowed to sit out or not go to 4 events.
4 events.
If that's what you choose to do.
Okay.
You don't have to go to them.
Yeah.
And you don't know, as far as I can tell, no repercussions of not going to those events. And it's something we need to look into. I'm sure they knew what they were talking about, and I'm pretty sure that's what I heard that they meant. You only had to count. They were only going to count 20 events.
Yeah. And I'm wondering how you keep track of the point standings when you're 15 in, but I'm not going to count, even though I was there. That's my understanding. I can say no, those 2 that I didn't ride at well, I can opt out or take out of my total. Is that your understanding? They can throw those 4. If I go to all 24,
I would imagine, and this is just imagining, if you go to all 24, there's going to be 4 of those in that you didn't get any points.
Yeah.
And you just wipe those 4 off the map.
Okay.
But I don't know.
So how do we
you have
know?
to declare ahead of time? Do you have to declare? I don't know. But I would imagine if you went to all 24, you just dropped 4 that you didn't make any points.
So how do we even know where anybody is in the point standings then, right? I mean, wouldn't that alter things? Maybe not. Maybe I'm making it too hard. Because I might have rode one out of my 3 bulls.
We don't know.
At a weekend, right?
We don't know. It's something we're going to have to check into, folks, because I just heard them say that on the broadcast that they're counting 20 events this year.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I heard right, but as my wife would tell you, I don't always hear what I think she's saying.
Absolutely. So we'll check into that. And then one other thing we heard that was really interesting, and we actually raised this during team PBR teams. We said, is there going to come a day when I opt out of individual and only ride teams? Okay? And we know the benefits of riding the teams. We've seen the improvement in stats of bull riders. And because you can get on the bull that your coach puts you on that most fits you, I have to imagine health is going to follow, less injuries, less wear and tear, I have to imagine. But Cooper Davis made a statement, I'm not riding individual UTB this year. I'm riding only the PBR teams.
Yes, and I think that is what we call smart business decision.
Yeah.
Because you can pick what bull. You might not always get the pick that you want, but Cooper's going to get a good share of just what he wants to get on in the team things. And I think as the crowd that we know here matures, we're going to see more and more. And as the money gets better in the teams,
you bet.
More and more of this. Why go beat yourself up when you can stay right here and go? Now, the $1 million is going to always entice people to stay there and ride.
Sure.
But, it's not, sometimes it's not all about money.
Yep.
And, you got a family to go back to, and you can spend 6 months with them and enjoy it and then come back and do what you love. Yep. I think we will see more and more of this in the future.
And Cooper Davis is on the broadcast team now, so still involved in the sport. But it's interesting. I'm wondering, same conditioning regimen. He's got the teams going to kick off again next July. So it'll be interesting to see how, no different than the NFL or the NBA. What do you do in the off season, right, to stay in condition and that sort of thing? Got to be getting on practice bulls somewhere still, don't you?
Not necessarily for a while.
Not for a while.
A month beforehand, he knows how to ride.
Yeah.
You just got to knock some of that rust off. So a month beforehand, if you get on 5 to 10 practice bulls before the first team event, you'll be ready.
Okay.
As long the physical conditioning is what you cannot let slide.
Yeah.
And you could let that slide for a month.
Yeah.
Take a month off, let your body recoup, all that stuff. But that physical conditioning. You cannot let the reflexes come back.
Yeah.
And you might not have to get in top physical shape, but your reflexes have to stay where they're at.
Lots of ping pong games.
Yeah.
Lots of ping pong games. And let's talk a little bit then about the bull standings. So Man-Hater, it's early in the season, but Man-Hater, new bull for me. I don't know that I remember him from last year.
I don't either.
Okay.
I remember the name, but I didn't pay attention to him.
Mm-hmm.
But outstanding young bull.
Absolutely.
Outstanding.
And I think his average, we're seeing like 46.25 or something like that. And this is only 2 events to the year so far.
Yeah, and he had a big day this week. He was like 47 something.
Was he really?
Yeah,
47 points?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was way up there.
Okay.
And, just an outstanding young bull.
Yeah. And then outstanding young bulls, and this is the bull that Dalen got on in the short round, flying wired.
Yeah, this little calf is really just a nice bull, and Dalen's going to drool till he gets on him again. But shows so much promise.
Yep. Second place with 45-point average so far. Then third bull, an old campaigner, Legend.
Yeah, just an old campaigner that gets better. He's like that wine that will open someday, Doug.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we'll see if Man-Hater, Flying Wired, Legend, if they make the trip to Johnstown, PA. That starts tomorrow, December 8th, and that's Friday. So performance tomorrow, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon. Sam and I will be there. We're going to cheer on Dalen. Sage is off to the NFR. On the day sheet, Jose Vitor Lemmy is back. So talking of day sheets and matchups, tell us a little bit about Dalen's bull, what he's drawn for tonight.
Cy Young.
Cy Young.
Cy Young.
So owned by, one of the owners is a retired baseball player, I believe, who had won the Cy Young Award, hence the name?
Correct. That's what I understand.
Okay.
That's what the commentator said.
Okay.
And this bull, I am so surprised he's in the long go.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Okay.
So this could be Dalen's turn.
Okay.
When he rides this one,
yeah,
he'll be a lot of points.
Okay. So left hand, right hand delivery.
Right hand delivery, turns back right to the right, really strong and hard. And I know people say Dalen struggles to the right. Well, when he was here, he rode to the right way better than to the left.
Yeah.
And if his head is where it will be, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And he's proved that.
Fort Worth, winning the championship. He got on right-hand bulls there, and he rode them.
Yeah. And the most amazing bull ride I ever seen him make to the right, it was one of Cord McCoy's bull, and I forget the bull's name. He was a paint bull that just turns back to the right and then moves here and there and everywhere, and Dalen just was nothing,
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. So should score high 80s, low 90s. What are you thinking?
If he sits in the square in the middle of them, he'll be in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Can he open up? Can he spur to the right? I know he's superb at doing it to the left.
Yes.
He can open up.
He might not open up as far and get as crazy, and that's to his benefit.
Yes,
because
understood.
They won't jump out from underneath him as easy.
Absolutely.
And the bull last week to the right showed, towards, from 4 seconds on, he was spurring him to the right.
Yeah.
Not the Dalen over his head to the left.
No.
But
very, very controlled.
Yes.
So for our listeners, when we talk about spurring and opening up, let's talk a little bit about that. So let's put Dalen on the perfect left-hand bull at about 4 seconds.
Well, 4 seconds or 2 seconds or 1 second when he feels right or not right. He lets them have it. He kicks loose with that foot, and they come around, and And what it does is it keeps him to his rope. It keeps him moving forward and getting there.
Even though the spur is nowhere in contact with the bull, I mean, there's pictures of his leg straight out.
Don't get me started. Yes. Yeah, even though but as it's coming down, it's going forward.
It's going forward. He's moving to the front. Okay.
Our conversations, and he didn't listen to me about this when we were young. I said, there's two reasons you spur a bull. One, you feel so comfortable, and there you go. It's over. You got him.
Yeah.
The other is I'm in trouble, and I got to get there.
Yeah.
Dalen has taken that to a level, well, when they turn their head, I feel good.
Yeah.
So, and, who am I to say? I was taught the other way, and he showed me that his way is right because it's made him a lot of money.
And you mentioned earlier, it also, hence the high points, it also exposes the bull rider to getting bucked off. You said if the bull, right-hand spin, the bull can jump out away from you if your foot's out here to the side.
Yeah, well, if the only thing is holding you on is your hand in his back and he does something different, you better get that foot back down there. You better get it back down there.
But you're showing the judge, I'm in control, I'm exposing, let's up the ante almost.
You're showing the judge you're exposed, not always in control.
Right. And you're going to get points for it.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to. Absolutely. Okay. So we're cheering on Dalen and excited about that first round. That's going to open up tomorrow night. And then Jose Vitor Lemmy is there. Casio Diaz is there. Eli Bassbinder is back. He's on the day sheet. We'll see how he does. And then Brady Randolph. He lived for a while in this area, Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this is his hometown rodeo and hometown bull riding, excuse me.
And it's Johnstown. I said Johnstown. I try to slow down. Johnstown, PA.
And I'm sure he'll have a big group of people there and a lot of fans. And, it'll be exciting for him.
And what an interesting young man. Overcame a lot of injury.
Yeah, he's overcome a lot of stuff in life.
You bet.
Stuff that people should not have to overcome.
Yep.
And we know his grandfather and his uncle very well, and rode with them, and he is really riding good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. And he's on the Texas Rattlers, right, on the team. And that's really what brought him up into the PBR, wasn't it?
Yes.
Drafted for that, and he's sticking around for the individual. And for our trivia, he actually rode at your rodeos up in Pennsylvania at Benton.
He rode from high school to, 4 or 5 years up here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So Johnstown, PA is his hometown. That's where we're going. On to the PBR schedule. December 15th, 16th, Manchester, New Hampshire. What is that, about 8 hours from here, 6 hours from here?
Yeah, about 8 hours.
About 8 hours?
Yeah.
Are you going to Manchester?
I'm planning on it.
Okay. Absolutely. In 2 weeks after that, after the Christmas break, Albany, December 29th and 30th.
Yeah, that's only about 4 hours from here, and planning on that one also.
Okay, excellent. And then wrapping up the west or the East Coast, Madison Square Garden, January 5th through the 7th. What's your thoughts there? Do you go into the city?
I probably will not.
Probably won't.
Not 100% sure yet, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. But it sounds like your daughter Molly may.
Yes, she may.
That is amazing.
It's her cup of tea. She loves it, and she just takes a train in there and hangs out, and
Yep.
that's her choice. But I'm not fond of it, and it's cold there all the time. The wind's blowing through the buildings, but
Yeah. And then we saw the announcement just came through. Louisville will be the last stop of the UTB regular season. That's going to be April 26th, 27th. I'm there for sure. Let's continue the tradition. You were there last year. We actually launched the podcast that weekend. You came to the house and we recorded a whole bunch.
Yeah, we talked for quite a while.
About 8 hours, I think. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Well, thanks for the invitation, and right now we'll make that the plan.
Absolutely.
Until life gets in the way, that's the plan.
You bet. And that's the final before they go 2 weeks later to Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. They're there the 17th, 18th, and 19th. That is the UTB finals. That is where they will crown the individual champion of the PBR. So what are you thinking about that? Going to Arlington?
Yes.
Yes. You been to the stadium?
Yes. Been there.
The American.
The American and the team. Well, that was during the American. Maybe the day before, but they did the team country against country there.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was your experience of that?
Well, the country against country was incredible.
And the big stadium, what'd you think about that?
Well, that is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But that was incredible. Dalen did outstanding that weekend. And, I had a friend from Alabama that was in there watching it, and I hadn't seen in probably 20 years. I used to buy cattle from him for the rodeo. And he was there, and he texted me. He said, wow, this is pretty neat. I say 20 years, probably 10, because Dalen did go down with us one time when we got cattle. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then the NFR, we talked briefly about it, was scheduled to kick off tonight, has been delayed one day, we believe. Should open up tomorrow night, December 8th. Going to run for 10 consecutive days. We talked about Pro Fantasy Rodeo, our team that we put together, BTC podcast. We got to speak with Ms. Gail Jones with Pro Fantasy Rodeo. I'm going to invite you to check it out. Her husband and her own the company, Casey Jones. He's a 9-time NFR qualifier in the steer wrestling. I called just because I needed help, and she was so cool and came on and allowed and joined the podcast and was able to help us step through. So check them out, profantasyrodeo.com. I liked your point yesterday. You talked about the difference that PBR team makes for following folks and engagement.
Yeah. When you go to these events live in the city that they're in, the host team, just the people just go crazy.
Yep.
It is wonderful to see somebody that excited. Now, when they go to a bull ride and then they're entertained and, they might follow one person or two people or know nobody or nothing about it. They just went to because they decided to that day.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's wonderful. But now they got 5 guys to cheer for.
Absolutely.
And a reason to get up out of their seats, and they do it.
Yep.
They do it. I was a little leery about the teams at first. I wasn't against them.
Yep.
I thought, you got to do something for the next step to build this, Yeah. But the way they did it and the way it works, when I found out how they were doing it, that they weren't staying in each city for, half the events, it's very interesting.
You bet. You bet. And Pro Fantasy Rodeo allows us to build our own team. So for the NFR experience, you've got a team you're going to be cheering for, and you're going to be watching every single event.
Well, I got a team and a half I'm cheering for.
That's right.
We have the BTC team.
Yeah, and then you have your own team.
I got my own personal team.
Yep. And you've been playing this for a while, so you know the experience and how it changes the viewing and the participation, if you will.
Yeah, it does make it so much more interesting.
So do check that out. It's fun. Pro Fantasy Rodeo. We went through it yesterday. We talked to Gail Jones, as I said, helped step us through. Pretty straightforward. Now, BTC's going on the road again in January. We are headed to Gutherie, Oklahoma, to the IFR, January 11th through the 14th. As I said, in the Lazy E Arena, $500,000 in prize money, Sam, that these cowboys and cowgirls are going to come in for that 4-day experience. Doubled the money from what it was last year.
Yeah, it's very exciting to see something grow, and overnight.
Doubled the money.
Yeah,
okay.
It's very exciting, and it should just go up from there, and the sky's the limit.
You bet.
These contestants earn every nickel they get, and then some, so I'm glad they're getting more.
You bet. And the weekend before, at the Lazy Arena, the WCRA is gonna host the 2024 Triple Crown of Rodeo series. It's going to kick off there. It's called the WCRA Stampede at the E, and of course that is the World Champions Rodeo Alliance. $400,000, starts the 3rd, runs through the 6th at the Lazy Arena there in Guthrie. $400,000, Sam. So $400,000 that first weekend in January. The following weekend, $500,000. There's a lot of money at the Lazy E in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Boy, I wish I was riding again.
Absolutely. and for our listeners, the 2024 Triple Crown. So what that Triple Crown is, if you win 3 of these major events that the WCRA puts on, we'll get into how you get there at another time. But last fall, R.C. Landingham won his 3rd rodeo at the Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth. He picked up and became the first Triple Crown rodeo millionaire. $1 million check they handed him, Sam.
Isn't that wonderful? We, back when this first came out, had a conversation with some people and said, "Oh, nobody will ever be able to do it." I said, "Yes, they will.
Yeah.
They will. They'll give it out somewhere somehow."
Yep.
And it has happened.
Yep.
And now they're ready to give it out to the next person that can do it. It's going to be difficult.
Yep.
But they're going to get it. These guys.
You bet.
When that money's up there, they'll grab it somehow.
Life-changing money, Sam.
Exactly.
You bet.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference and pays a lot of entry fees, helps you down the road.
Yeah, it's incredible when you can win that much and then take care of it.
You bet.
It's definitely life-changing.
You bet. And on to the Rawhide Rodeo crew. We got Raymond out there. He's going to be competing at the PRCA Circuit Finals in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Has to make a decision because the PRCA Circuit Finals is exactly opposite the International Finals Rodeo in Guthrie, Oklahoma, which he qualified for too.
And we talked about this, Raymond and I knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
He's a family man.
Yeah.
He can go 4 hours or 24 hours. So, and take his family there. And that's good.
You bet.
That's good.
Wish he didn't have to make the choice.
Yes, but I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the livestock, I always had to make the choice where to go.
Yeah.
And you had qualified for the circuit finals, qualified for the IPRA finals. And that's life. You make choices.
Yeah.
And the farm show's not going to change their dates for just a few cowboys, and neither is the IFR. Yeah. So, Now, every 5 years, they're separate, so you get to go.
There you go. Try to get in that 5-year rotation. And then Eli. We believe, is going to be at the International Finals Rodeo, Eli Hirschberger.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I haven't talked to him, but I'm pretty sure he'll be there. And
injuries, what are you hearing?
Haven't talked to Eli lately. Haven't
Okay.
I haven't talked to him much, so but I think he's good. Last I talked to him, and it's time I give him a call, and I talked to him and said happy birthday, but that was about it.
Okay. And then finally, how's Colton? Where is he? How's he doing?
Colton's in Oklahoma, riding horses, as far as I know. I haven't talked to him a whole lot. We're on different time zones. I'm a morning person. He's a night person. So, and then during the day, I don't think to call him. But I'll get with Colton and see what's going on and see how he's doing.
Okay, excellent. Anyone else? Anything else we need to cover, Sam?
I think we got it.
Well, your brother Mike just showed up, so we're going to be recording an episode here in just a little bit about the 1990s. So to our listeners, look forward to that. And we hope that you enjoyed our conversation about these upcoming events. And if you do, please share it with your friends. Help spread the word to make your listening easier. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of that sort of thing. Just search for Beyond the Chutes and follow us. A reminder, check out the New York State Rodeo Museum Facebook group page and become a member. And we'd like to say thank you again to ParaSight Systems for all they do, for their support with our podcast. ParaSight System is a push-button parasitic diagnostic system for pasture animals, horses, cattle, goats, sheep, and chickens, and now for your companion animals, your dogs and your cats. You can find them at ParasightSystems.com. And remember, we have a coupon to get your test kits with. It'll save you 50%. BTC 023 for 50% off those test kits. And for now, this is Beyond the Chutes with
Sam Swearingen.
Until next time, this is Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening.